right, ladies and gentlemen, Risk It for the Biscuit podcast, episode number 20, and we're back. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had an awesome week. And as you're getting ready for this week, to get after it and whatnot, last week was pretty awesome. Got back from Pasco. Shout out to my friends, Zach and Jen. Well, Roman's friends too, but shout out to them for getting married. Super exciting. It was a beautiful wedding and just a great time with great friends, great people. And yeah, man, weddings are cool.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And the flights this time were kind of exhausting, but got through. What's it called? One of the things I was like kind of gonna mention today is on the flight there, I was watching the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix. Do you know who the Dream Team is?
I think I've heard that before. But
1992 Dream Team. They put Michael Jordan and everybody on that Olympic team, USA, for basketball. So leading up to that, the 92 year, they wouldn't have NBA players play in the Olympics. It was only college guys.
Why?
I don't know, honestly, but that was just the thing. I guess they weren't allowed to play, or maybe they were too good to play, or something like that. So they didn't want the NBA guys to play.
Didn't they wipe the floor at the Olympics or something?
Yeah, and like the college guys only lost like one game. At
the Olympics as well?
Like leading up to the 92.
Oh, okay.
And I think either in 88 or something. Anyway, they allowed the NBA guys to go. So that 92 Dream Team was like insane. And then in 2004, the Olympic team got embarrassed.
Okay.
Like embarrassed. And so 2008, they bring, LeBron. Who else do they bring? Dwayne Wade, Carmelo.
Wait, we lost in the basketball Olympics in 2004? To who?
I believe it was either Argentina or Spain.
That's like...
Yeah, I honestly, I kind of forgot about that.
That's an embarrassment.
But it was just interesting. There's the whole documentary was interesting. But yeah, so basically they lose in 2004. So then they're like, okay, the way we've been doing it, we can't just put, the best NBA guys out there and expect them to win.
Yeah.
So like we actually have to build this team. So they get Coach K from Duke. He's a college coach, but they get him. And they start building the Team USA for like 3 years leading up to. And so since they lost in 2004, they have to qualify. They're not just in the Olympics.
Right.
There was a tournament in 2006 that Team USA also lost.
Wait, we have to qualify? We had to qualify for a tournament?
Yeah, because
be in the Olympics?
No, we had to qualify for the Olympics. We had to win a tournament, like an international tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, so 2006 comes, we lose to Spain, so we're still not qualified.
Wow.
And then, so basically there were some other tournaments we had to win. But anyway, I'm saying all this. 2008 is the Redeem Team. That's where the name comes from, because 92 was the Dream Team. 2008 comes the Redeem Team. And it was just so cool. One cool thing about the doc too was that it was after Kobe passed away, and so all the guys are kind of remembering Kobe. It was like a tribute to Kobe.
Okay.
Which was very cool. But to me, it was 2008. So one of the coolest things to see was to see all these NBA players so proud to play for Team USA. Like, it was cool to see that, like recently, 2020 and whatever, the sports and just NBA become so political and all this stuff and, change, blah, 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 like just whatever, the messaging that's been kind of been pushed. So it was just so cool to see these guys, like, bro, like if you watch the doc, you'll see, they're so proud to wear USA, like on the, they're so proud to do that. One cool moment too is, so obviously they win the Olympic gold, and there was an announcer. His name is Doug Collins, and he played in 1972 in the Olympics. He was in college, but he played in 1972, and they played against the Soviets.
Okay. And
there was such a big controversy because I think it was the final for gold, and something happened. Basically, there was no time left on the clock. And the game was supposed to be over. Some way, in some fashion, they put 3 seconds back on the clock. And the Soviets won, like on a buzzer beater. Yeah, and so like all the guys, like he talked to them, how much it meant,
Mm-hmm.
how much it meant to like kind of lose that game or whatever, and how he wanted to represent the country, and he kind of encouraged the guys. And so once they win the Olympic gold,
Mm-hmm.
they all come up to him, like dap him up, like okay, like this was for the country, stuff like that. Like I don't know, man, it was just so sick to see.
So important question on the
Mm.
2014.
Okay.
Do we have a list of all the names of the players?
We do. I could probably name a few of them off the top of my head. So it was interesting because
Well, the reason I was asking is, did they lose their United States citizenship? That's the least I would expect.
I
I
mean,
mean, I would hope for something even more severe.
I don't know about that.
Not gonna say it on this podcast. You know.
It was definitely embarrassing for them. I don't know if they lost their citizenship, but it was
But
embarrassing.
they should.
I mean, honestly, yeah, probably.
That's why I want a list so we can go to Congress and maybe pass a new amendment. Change the Constitution of the United States. If you lose in basketball at the Olympics, I mean that's like losing. I mean that's almost as bad as us losing a football game to another country. Like that's not,
that. I think that
that if that happened, I don't know. We'd have to.
we'd have to reconsider a lot of things.
Every single member on the team and every single coach would have to just be. We'd have to send them to North Korea.
No, yeah, I think it's more feasible that we lose our status as the world reserve currency before we lose a football game.
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we could send them to Guantanamo, right? We still operate Guantanamo.
I honestly am not familiar with the history of that.
Guantanamo Bay?
I know roughly what
So we
happened.
had a lot of fun times with some interesting people.
Do you want to expand on that? Or do you
I
want to tell
don't.
me about it?
I mean,
Just give me the Roman version of Guantanamo Bay. I'm sure there's very important historical things. Is this a conspiracy theory? I just want to confirm.
what? No. No, it's like a real place. We're like
No. But all of the events that took place there.
I think some of it was leaked. Because I think technically torture is illegal.
Yeah, just so I know I'm saying this because everything I bring up Roman deems as a conspiracy theory. So I'm just confirming that whatever this I mean, I've heard of Guantanamo Bay. I'm not an idiot, but just want to confirm that.
I mean, I don't have a lot to add. I mean, it was a military base in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Where during the War on Terror we interrogated
Okay.
a lot
So
of
fairly recently.
a lot of terrorists and also some non-terrorists. That we just
Which is people we didn't like.
no. I mean, I know there was one case where there was one guy. He just had the same name, like same first and last name, and he kept telling them like, "I'm not the person you think I am." And they're like, "Yeah, like." Okay, and then like after 10 years,
Are you gonna blame them?
after 10 years, they were like, yeah, so we've been like waterboarding the wrong guy.
Do you know how they found that out or no?
I don't remember, but I remember reading about that. Or maybe I'm confusing two things. So there was also an incident where we captured some guy that we thought was a terrorist. He was actually a Canadian citizen. He was a professor, and we gave him, I think, to the Jordanians or to the Egyptians.
You trying to imply that Canadians can't be terrorists, or?
No, but like he was like just the way they treated him, like they ripped his fingernail. Like the Jordanians, or it was either the Jordanians or the Egyptians. They like brutally tortured him like crazy, which is obviously a violation of his rights as a Canadian citizen. And then they realized. Yeah, maybe I'm conflating two things. And then they realized
you gotta be important with your facts here, Roman.
They're like, hey, we're like, this is not the guy we're supposed to be. Like, he just has the same first and last name. Like, it's not the right person. And then they just like sent him back to Canada. And like his family didn't know where he was. None of the government agencies in Canada would tell him.
They just pulled this poor dude out of Canada?
No, so he was I think he was a naturalized Canadian citizen, so he was, I think, originally from Afghanistan.
I know, but was he just chilling in Canada?
No, he went to Afghanistan to visit his family, and on the way out, he got pulled by like some. I don't remember all the details because it was a while ago. I'm not even sure if it was Afghanistan. It was one of the stands, for sure. But he just got like grabbed there, and then they like pulled him out into like a torture like black site. And then they were like...
In Guantanamo?
No, not Guantanamo. It was somewhere in the Middle East.
What are we talking? That's not what we're talking about Guantanamo Bay.
I thought so too, but then as I started remembering the details, well, Guantanamo Bay is just like it's in like a place where it's a prison and a hot like interrogation place.
I don't think we should send our NBA stars to Guantanamo Bay.
I think if they lose in the Olympics, we definitely should.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that now.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta change the Constitution of the United States, and it's got to be very specific, right? It's not like if you lose at all in the Olympics, right? Because if we lose in swimming or something, right, like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you lose in basketball,
well, that's kind of what they were saying in the doc, man. They're like, we thought we could just kind of do it, but it's like the world caught up. It's not our sport anymore. That's what they said. That's what they said.
No,
they said it's not our sport. I don't know. Those international teams, I mean, they were pretty stacked, bro. They had Argentina had Manu Ginobili.
that means nothing to me. I don't know who that is.
You know Manu. He played for the Spurs, left-handed.
Mark, I haven't watched a basketball game in 10 years. So.
Oh my goodness, that's insane.
No,
Actually, the finals are going on right now. We can watch that.
What finals?
NBA finals.
Right now?
Yeah, Heat and Nuggets.
In the middle of like June?
That's usually when they happen, pal. Don't you remember going on vacation and we would watch the finals?
No.
I mean, you would watch them all the time.
Yeah, I was probably asleep.
I mean, yeah, probably. Or reading a book on your Kindle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, so that's what I was saying. It was like, to me, seeing people love America makes me very happy. Especially people who, as of late, have not been very supportive or proud of America and whatnot. And I don't know. For me, that was like very refreshing.
Can we correct the facts here a little bit? I was very wrong.
Please correct the facts. This is a horrible story you were telling.
His name is Mahir Arar.
All right.
He had a dual Syrian and Canadian citizenship.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So this is why I kind of got him confused. He was detained during a layover in John F. Kennedy International Airport. Okay.
In 2002.
In September 2002. Bad timing to be on a plane. He was going home to Canada, so the rest of his family continued on home. He was held without charges in solitary confinement in the U.S. for 2 weeks. They suspected that he was a member of Al-Qaeda. Then they deported him to Syria. And okay, so he was tortured in Syria. And he was detained, he was tortured, and then he was found to be completely innocent of any of the things that he was guilty of. Canadian government had nothing to do with it, but they gave him 10 million Canadian dollars, and the Prime Minister personally apologized to him because he was just, held in an American airport and then deported to Syria and tortured for a year.
And Canada didn't help him out at all?
Well, they didn't know what was going on, but his family, I remember, because there was some interviews with his family, they were saying we're trying to, contact our government agencies, and they're like, we don't know what's going on. No one really knew what was going on. And yeah, for a year he was held, which is kind of crazy.
That's tough, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, at least it's not longer.
It's a year.
No, I understand.
In a Syrian prison.
A year is a long time. I just say that I saw a clip of the guy on Joe Rogan. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Most recently, he was on Joe Rogan. He spent 30 years, I think, in prison.
The guy that was falsely accused. Yeah, with the bald guy.
Yep. That was wild. The one clip I will listen to. Whoo! But talk about mindset and perspective. You know what he said? Did you watch any of it?
Just the clips. I was gonna watch the whole thing.
Did you watch the clip? He goes, I wasn't gonna serve time that I didn't do. So I was gonna make time serve me. Dang. Yeah. Talk about perspective. Staying positive,
I would not be able to stay positive during that.
No, I'm having a hard time staying positive right now. I'm not even in prison.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a job. Yeah, gotta stay positive in the situations you're in, and I mean, it's weird. You go through I guess mundane or difficult times, and you're just oh, this kind of sucks, but it's like you're only going through this time once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta enjoy it. You gotta be positive through it somehow. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of time, I don't want to transition into this lightly because it's pretty tragic. But did you see the video of the kid that jumped off? Why are you laughing?
Mark,
Why are you laughing?
That was the worst transition. Mark, I couldn't dream of a worse transition in my life.
I said I don't want to transition into this lightly. It's a sad situation. I was genuinely sad when I watched that video. Why are you laughing? Why would you laugh like that? Oh my goodness, we're canceled, Roman.
Mark, that was the worst transition. Speaking of time, did you see the video of the kid that killed himself? Like, oh, I need to blur that now. Gosh, Mark, I need to bleep that out now.
Why?
Because that's like a word they'll flag it. Maybe I was laughing too hard for YouTube to catch it. But.
He didn't. Okay, first of all, he didn't do that.
Oh, he just jumped. Yeah, it's still a terrible transition, Mark. I can't let you.
I told you so. I don't want to transition this lightly. It's
Okay, what does that have to do with time?
Well,
like it's an event that happened in some point of time in this world, right? But where are you going with this, please?
His time was cut short. Dude, he got eaten by a shark, bro.
You said he made it.
What do you mean? When did I say that?
I said that.
No, they. That's why I asked you. They stopped the search party.
What does this have to do with time? That his time was cut short?
That's kind of what I was gonna say. Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah.
Like the kid, he was 18 years old.
Wait, what happened? I didn't see this actually.
You didn't see this?
No.
You live on Twitter, bro. You have a...
Yeah, I know, but if something
you
like...
pay Twitter rent, pal.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, if I see, like a war clip, I'm like, oh, gotta watch that. If I see, like, some video and I can tell that it's gonna be, like, someone falling or something, I can't watch it, so...
Okay, well, he didn't fall. Okay, part of the reason why this really made me sad, too, is because... we've been on a cruise. Like, you know how sketchy that is.
So what did he do? He jumped off the top deck?
They're on a cruise ship. I mean, we should probably pull this up, but they're on a cruise ship. I think if you look it up, you'll be able to find it.
I don't want to watch it.
It's not scary. All you see is him, like, swimming.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just explain.
Okay, but it's... Okay, so it's dark. It's night. And this... I mean... Wait, is your phone? Okay, yeah. So the kid's just recording.
Yeah.
And all you see is the kid in the water... I don't think it was a full-size cruise ship because it doesn't look like that from the video. Like,
okay.
It doesn't look like that.
So it's not like a regular, like, 20-story cruise ship or whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine you'd get a video of the kid if it was.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you can see, like, the net side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe you know what it was? Maybe they weren't on the top deck. Maybe they were on the bottom. Or, like, you know what I mean? You know, you can go into the lower floors, but you can still look out over the deck.
So was he, like, jumping off, like, to just dive off? Or
yeah,
was
his friends just dared him to jump off. Yeah. And they just thought it was funny. And so they're recording. And you know, the kid in the video, his friend recording, he says, "Oh, bye-bye."
I mean, it's sad, right?
Yeah, okay, look, let me finish.
Okay.
So he jumps off, they threw like a little ring.
Okay.
But if you watch the video, it's kind of, you know, they're moving it around, he's going back and forth, whatever. But they, what's it called? That was kind of cool. I heard this now. But in the video, if you slow it down, it looks like there's something in the water with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's swimming away from it. And they searched for him, I believe, for a day or two.
Yeah.
And then the Bahamian official said that, yeah, the place where he jumped was heavily shark-infested waters. Tragic, bro.
That is, I mean, very tragic. Like,
Well, that's what I was
so
saying.
sad.
I thought about it because we've been on a cruise, and like some of the comments was like, bro, like imagine, like he jumps off,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just sees the. I mean, because you feel like the cruise is moving slowly, but bro, I promise you, if you're just standing still, that thing is cruising. You know, like if you're just sitting by it.
Yeah.
So imagine he just jumps off into that water, and then. And you just by yourself as the thing disappears.
I mean, I feel like even if I don't know, whenever I've been on a cruise, the fear of like falling off somehow off the ship was in my head the entire time.
Oh yeah.
And I just can't imagine what state of mind you'd have to be in to jump off. But even if I was to jump off, just thinking through this, I would have some sort of something tied to me if I was to jump off. I don't know if I would. I
don't even think you could get, like, even if you were intoxicated and like, I don't know how. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Makes you think that was
a good idea? Because the other thing that always, I don't know if this is like a realistic fear, is like, okay, you jump into the water next to the cruise ship. Like, a cruise ship is like ginormous, right? So like, I'd always be scared of like
going under it.
Yeah, just and then you're under.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if it was a full size cruise ship, but when you say cruise in the Bahamas, I imagine it's a cruise ship.
No, I mean maybe it was just off the lower decks, but good God, dude, that's like.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think. If you've never been next to a cruise ship, you kind of don't understand. But
the scale,
they're so huge. I don't know, man.
How much does a cruise ship weigh? I'm curious.
What does that have to do with it? I mean, it weighs a lot.
Well, it gives you a kind of like a scale, sort of, right? Like to kind of understand.
I guess.
Okay, 200,000 tons, right? 1 ton is like. Wait, GT's. It's either 1,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds. No, 1 ton.
I'm pretty sure a ton is
1,000 kilos. Yeah, 1 ton. Oh, no, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Yeah. That's 1 U.S. ton. But regardless, 200,000 tons, like that's. I mean, a semi truck is 80 tons. 80 to 40, again, depending on which system, metric or imperial. So. That's like it's an unimaginable scale. There's thousands of people living on there, and like it's ginormous. It's a neighborhood.
It's very, very sad, bro.
Yeah,
could not believe it. And the kid just graduated high school. Baseball scholarship. Make better friends, people.
Yeah, that's I think it's the biggest thing.
Am I gonna cancel for that transition? Probably.
Do you have any other transitions you'd like to?
I don't know. I thought it was. I mean, we brought up time. It was tragic.
I'm sorry. I can't.
I don't know why. You're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, I just have a weird sense of humor.
No,
it's not funny at all. But it's just the way that you. I don't know why.
I don't think you should. Like, if you just didn't laugh like that, it wouldn't have.
But I could not laugh like that. Like, it was just incredibly funny to me. It's like. I don't even know.
What is wrong with you? I don't know. I just wanted to tell you this. I thought you saw it.
No, I'd never seen it. I was like, what are you? Time what?
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Like, that transition to me is like if we were having a podcast, like September 10th or like September 12th, 2001, and there was like, oh, Boeing released a new plane. You're like, speaking of planes, That's the equivalent to me. I was just like, what are you... Speaking of planes, 2 planes hit the towers. I was like...
I guess. Wait, why are we even talking about time? What did I say about time?
I don't know. No one knows, Mark.
No. Oh, I think I wanted... Because I said going through tough times.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this was not an easy... Okay, I'm just gonna stop. I thought it made sense in my head when I was saying it. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
You are... I mean... It just, maybe it was maybe we're both, not good there, yeah.
Okay.
Who is ever going to watch this podcast? We are special. Funny. Very, very, very funny.
Very funny.
But anyway, I think, how long are we going? I don't want to go too long. How much?
30.
Oh, I think we could probably... wrap it up. I don't know. I'm starting a new job. How's your job been?
Good.
Good.
Pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
Staying busy.
Debt ceiling increased, so
Don't care.
we're back at
Told
it.
you.
Life is good.
See, I didn't worry about it at all. You told me that. I'm like, okay, debt ceiling raised. It's not something you can control or influence in the slightest. It doesn't matter. If the U.S. dollar falls, everything falls. Who cares? So
That is true. Just if U.S. dollars falls and everything else falls, I would just like to be mentally prepared for the fall of everything. Probably won't be as hard as I tried, but I'm trying to. Like,
I was listening to the All In podcast yesterday.
okay.
Painfully difficult to listen to because it's really gone like this in quality. Like it's really bad now.
Why is that?
Just, I mean,
The topics to talk about, or
not the topics and then just the bickering. Like it's just really tough. Like it's just tough to listen to.
so that's why you should probably just listen to the Biscuit for the Biscuit. Podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
To everyone, not the All In.
at least this week I haven't tuned in like over like a month and a half probably.
Okay.
But good God, like it was bad.
So they're just arguing.
Yeah,
They have different political views and stuff.
yeah. I can if you just listen to like the like 15 minutes of it, you'll be like, yeah, this is like incredibly difficult. But Chamath Palihapitiya, everyone some people clown on him on Twitter, because he did a couple what are they called? Not an IPO.
It was the
SPACs.
Yeah.
He's like the SPAC king. But two of the people on the podcast are really concerned about the debt ceiling and like the U.S. spending, and he's not. And he called it a like double sigma event. Basically, from the context I gathered, that it's like an event that is so unlikely. Yeah, 99.97% chance that it won't happen. And he's a billionaire, and he said it's a double or a triple sigma event, and like the likelihood of it happening is like so low that it's not even worth me thinking about.
The U.S. defaulting?
Yeah, the U.S. defaulting, or like the U.S.
Losing reserve currency?
Yeah. Because even though, like, the BRICS stuff and all that, like...
Like, the BRICS stuff, so here's the thing. I kind of appreciate the comments, like, why are we concerned about these third world countries?
Mm-hmm.
But, so the only reason I pay attention, really, to, like, BRICS, U.S. defaulting, is because I believe in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like we are living in pretty biblical relevant times, just from paying attention to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you start seeing it, it's kind of like making a path, like for all that stuff to take place. That's the reason why. It's not.
I don't know if I'm sold on that yet, to be honest.
On the Bible?
No. On the whole that we're living in end times. Okay, Mark. Every single generation, like the World War II generation, thought they were living in end times. World War I, World War II, 2 nuclear bombs went off, Mark, in Japan.
You're right.
People had a very good reason to believe that it was the end times.
I agree to that extent as well.
Yeah.
But the part that makes me more convinced rather than not is just the technology. Like, back in World War 1940s, you're not putting chips in people's hands to pay for this stuff. You know what I mean?
But I think in 1940, there was like this good meme of showing throughout the 1900s all the different things that people thought were like the mark of the beast. I think in like in the early 2000s or like late 2000s, it was like the QR code. And then the early 2010s, it was like something else. And then like in the 1990s or the 1970s, credit cards. Or the chip.
Well, yeah, I think everything is... But that's kind of the thing. It's like you kind of notice and it's like, okay. Because like in 1970 or 1940, they couldn't imagine how.
Right.
But now it kind of makes sense how.
Let me see if I can find it.
But... yeah.
No, I cannot find it.
I'm not like I don't think there's a guy I really like. He does a prophecy update, I think.
Yeah.
And they're from Athey Creek. It's in Washington. And he says, I don't go out saying, "Oh, we for sure are living
Mm-hmm.
in the end times," but he looks at things going around the world and he says, "This could be a sign." Like this
Mm-hmm.
could be. So that's kind of my stance on it too. But that's why I also like when you hear things like, "Oh, U.S. defaulting," CBDCs, like you hear this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so you're like, okay, I could see how this could
Mm-hmm.
catapult us into that.
I don't feel like we're living in nearly as turbulent times as World War II.
Really,
None. I mean,
we're on the brink of nuclear war.
like World War II.
The doomsday clock.
I'm thinking in terms of like the average person and how their day-to-day life goes, right? Like World War II, peak World War II,
But that's because we live in America.
peak World War II in America. Um, gas rations, tire rations, food rations. There's practically no military-aged males in like the continental United States unless they're working in the military in some capacity. 50% of GDP spending was on the military. 52% of the United States GDP spending was on the military. That's like, I mean, like I think we spent 1% of our GDP on the Afghan or like the war on terror.
I'd be interested to see if the revivals, if they're taking place in the 40s.
Okay, and no, sorry. Let me just. So all that going on in the United States, the biggest land war in history in Europe, right? Like the front line was actually the same size as the front line right now in Ukraine, but it was like spread out. Like France. They made it all the way to the coast of France on the border with England. Like they were bombing London, right? Like, Italy. Well, I mean Italy, and then like into Africa, like towards the beginning of the Western Front, and then the same thing in Japan, and all the islands in the Pacific, like freaking, like, I mean, I bet the soldiers in the Pacific theater thought they were like freaking,
No.
In the end times, like for sure, So I just feel like right now we're definitely not in as turbulent times as World War II, in my opinion.
I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Because you think it's so turbulent because you don't touch grass a lot. You got to touch grass sometimes. You live in your phone, so you think everything's terrible, but it's actually pretty good.
Well, but then again, I also think it's because we're in America. Other places, bro, the cost of living in Europe is... what's going on. South Argentina, Argentina defaulted again.
Who cares, bro?
Like, stuff in the Middle East.
Greece
China.
Defaulted like 10 years ago. They're fine.
Greece is Europe. We pay for them for everything anyway. But China, stuff going on. Although their population situation is very dire, I'm hearing. So
correct.
Their economy and stuff is not doing very good either. But just biblically, just the lion, the bear, or the dragon, the bear. All I'm saying is okay, yeah.
I mean, but why are you tracking it so closely? Like, who cares?
Well, I think the closer we get to the return, the more urgent our evangelical.
But aren't you just making yourself like needlessly anxious?
I guess.
Because like you can only control what you can't control, and you definitely can't control.
Well, you know what? That's part of the reason why we're doing this. No summer socials. That's starting tomorrow. Thank God. Praise God for that. So.
Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God. So you're gonna have to carry this whole podcast.
That's fine.
You're gonna have to be doing transitions.
Okay, Mark. I
we'll
can promise you.
Transition next week.
I will not have a transition that bad.
Okay. Comment if my transition was actually that bad. I don't think it was that bad.
It's terrible.
Roman just laughed very loud for that. But yeah, okay, so we're good. We can live, right?
Yeah, of course.
Life is gonna go on.
Obviously.
For how? What's your prognosis?
It'll keep going until it doesn't, and then when it doesn't, then we'll just,
All right, you guys heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Time's just gonna keep going until it doesn't. All right.
That's all you need to know.
Kind of went pretty long today, but first day on the job tomorrow. So since I'm doing no summer socials, I'm gonna be I'm not even listening to podcasts for the summer, so I'm going to be completely uninformed.
Okay.
But I'm going to be...
So I can just feed you, like, fake information. You'll never know.
Probably. That's a danger. But, so yeah, whatever happens with DeSantis and Trump, let me know. PBD, if you can keep me updated on his life. I like him.
Wait, Trump and what?
DeSantis.
I'm not following that at all. If I see something on Twitter, maybe.
We're not following that at all at the risk. We're not following relevant news that will get us clicks.
Yeah, I'm not following politics, Mark. I don't care.
We're not following politics, although I'm slightly interested in it, but we're not following it this summer.
No.
Tell you about my job, what I'm learning, working
Mm-hmm.
at a big American corporation. And actually, it's a private company. Are we both working for a private company?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Praise God. Yeah, that's good. Private company. So, should be fun. Probably just going to work out and do the podcast. Oh, I was going to say I'm going to listen to books, read books as well.
Audiobooks, yeah.
Audiobooks. I got nothing else to do. Anything else? Should they like? Should they comment? Should they subscribe?
I mean, probably, but we should have told them to do that in the beginning.
Yeah, our watch time is definitely not 37 minutes, right?
Yeah, if someone's watching to this point, I mean...
Yeah, salute you.
Yeah.
But anyway, since we didn't say in the beginning, you can still like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to focus on improvements for the podcast, and we'll be better next week. And thumbnail. And I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right, Risky for the Biscuit, episode 20. See you, ladies and gents, next week. Bye.
Peace.